welcome back. Today we are going to file the piles. We are going to create a filing system that's effective, functional, and efficient. The first thing that we're going to need is some place to house our files. You can use a filing cabinet, you can use a plastic bin, you can use a copy paper box. However, cardboard attracts humidity, so I like to have my files in more of a humidity controlled environment. And I'm using a wooden box that I got at a discount store. It's decorative, I don't have to hide it, and it can just sit on the floor next to the chair where I do my filing. Makes it super simple. The next thing that we're going to need are file folders. Now, you can go two routes on this. You can go to your local dollar store and buy inexpensive file folders. You get about 6 for $1, and with a very small investment you can buy enough that will house all of your documents. However, they're very lightweight and they are not as durable as a more heavyweight file folder. However, if you replace your file folders or update your filing system every 3 to 5 years, these lightweight file folders work just fine. You can also get them in different coordinating patterns so that you can categorize your files and color code them. If you'd rather, you can spend a little bit more money and get some heavier weight laminated file folders. These are a little bit more expensive, but they're more durable, and so if you don't update your file folders every 3 to 5 years, these are fine too. Now, either way, you're going to want to label your file folders. And I like to use thick-tipped permanent markers because it makes reading your file labels much easier. You may also want to use file folder labels. If you're using the really durable files, you may want to go ahead and use file folder labels so that you can reuse them if you need. I don't use them on the lightweight file folders because the labels do tend to peel up over time and it snags my documents as I try to file. It makes it kind of problematic for me. So I just write on the tabs with a permanent marker, and that way it makes it nice and visible for me in my filing system. Another item that you may want to get are these plastic envelopes. Again, at the dollar store, they are about $1 for 2, so 50 cents each. These are great for heavy, thicker documents that don't function well in a lightweight file folder or even the more durable ones. These plastic envelopes are great for housing big, thick file folder material so that they stay together and they don't creep up under your file folders. So what happens when you file something really heavy is that it will slip underneath your file folder in your filing box. Makes it really problematic when you're trying to file. Also, if you have important documents, if you have really important documents that you house in your safe or your file system, you might want to go ahead and put them into a plastic zip top bag. I use the 2-gallon size. These envelopes and file folders fit nicely inside, but it gives you added protection in case there is a flood or fire, and there's a flood or fire, and then you get wet during the firemen trying to put out the fire, or if there's a flood. This gives added protection. So just slip the envelope or file folders in there, seal the bag, and that will give a little added protection to your documents from getting wet. Now, we're going to start by conducting a paperwork safari where we are going to go through our home and we're going to start grabbing the piles of paper off of the kitchen counter, out of the drawers, out of the cabinets, off of the dresser, and off of the refrigerator. So you're going to start collecting all of those documents and put them in a bin or a basket or even a laundry basket. And we need them all in one place so we can start categorizing and filing them. Now, if we have a lot of paperwork, it's going to be overwhelming in the beginning, and we're not going to overwhelm ourselves. we're going to set a goal of 10 pages a day. So we're going to file 10 pages a day. And in our 30-day process, that means we're going to file 300 pages, and that's going to take care of just about everyone's piles. Now, we're going to start categorizing our documents. But there's a couple of things I want you to look out for as you're starting to sort through your piles from your paperwork safari. The first thing that you're going to look for are instruction booklets that you get with just about anything you buy. If you buy something in a box, it's going to come with some paperwork. Well, those instruction booklets are too heavy to file into a file folder. Again, they will slip underneath. The weight of them will cause the file folder to slip underneath, and it makes your filing system very problematic because you're constantly trying to shift your files. For instruction booklets that we get with purchases, we're going to house those in an accordion file. In each compartment, we'll have a different category, and that's going to house those heavy booklets in our warranties and our instruction manuals and all of the receipts that go with those purchases, so that we have all of those in one location. And there's a whole nother segment on how to file those in the on the videos. So go ahead and start separating those, and then we'll file those when we get to that segment. We have a day set aside to file those items. The next kind of document that I want you to look for, anything relevant to your job. And that's going to be your resume, any certificates that you've earned, your college and high school transcripts, your awards that you've earned, your letters of recommendation, anything pertaining to your job or career. And we're going to house those in a separate binder. The reason is because when you go to fill out applications, or if you are applying for a job and have an interview, you're going to want all of that data available for you to be able to answer questions or fill out information. And it just is so handy to have it in one spot. So categorize those documents and set those aside, and then create a professional binder for yourself. The last category of documents that we're going to set aside for the time being are documents that are immediately relevant. Those are documents that are like receipts for recent purchases in case we need to return something, any kind of event tickets or information, any type of pickup ticket such as a dry cleaning ticket or a repair ticket, anything that's immediately relevant, current bills, catalogs you're ordering from, anything that you've gotten in the mail recently that you need to address. You want to keep those in your grab-and-go binder. Now, there's another segment on creating your grab-and-go binder. This is a very effective strategy for keeping the things off of the kitchen counter and off of the refrigerator, and it makes it super simple to just grab this binder and go run your errands, and then you have everything you need to pick up your dry cleaning or to stop by the post office and drop off your bills that you're paying. So you want to have those documents set aside so when we create this grab-and-go binder, and we have a day set aside for that. But I also want to mention that in our grab-and-go binder, we have a section to be filed. So anything that we need to put into our filing system that we have just addressed can go into the to be filed page protector. And then one day a week, we take a few minutes, just less than 10 minutes, we pull the items out of this to be filed section and we put them into our filing system. Now, I have a couple of tips about how to make your filing system super effective. We go through our documents, we're going to start to notice that there are certain categories, or in research we call it themes emerge. You're going to have categories and subcategories. For example, bills is a category, and under that your subcategories would be your utility bills. And then you would also have a file folder for each type. So you would have a file folder for your water bill, for your electric bill, and for your internet bill, your phone bill. Those would all be utility bills. But you would also have a category or a subcategory for like your car payment, your insurance payment, your mortgage. You may want to use those categories as a way of color coordinating your files. So it makes it super easy to find what you need in your filing system if it's color coordinated. For example, you may want to have all of your utility bills in one color or pattern of file folder. Then you may want to have all your insurance documents in another color so that you can easily find what you need into your filing system. Now, as we start to file our papers, I have a couple of tips. For each subcategory or for each file folder, you're going to want to include information on the inside cover for the company that is represented in that file. For example, your electric company. You're going to want to have the name of the company and your account number, the address, and phone number for customer service for that company, so that in case that you need to contact them, you don't have to flip through the documents to try and find that information. It's all located on the inside cover. Also, when you file your papers in your filing folders, you're going to want to have your headings of the papers facing to the left. And the reason why is because we staple our papers on the left, and that creates a nice tight margin to line up on the fold of that file folder. If you reverse it and put the headings to the right, then the margin is going to be less stable, and it's going to cause your papers to shift. And so therefore, the papers won't stay nicely aligned and neat in your file folder. Also, it makes it super easy when you're looking for a document to be able to just flip through the documents. Because they're all faced one way, you can find the document that you need very quickly. Lastly, you want to file all your current information in the front of the file folder so that you're able to find that most recent document quick and efficiently. Last tip, if you have a packet of papers that you need to file that all go together, go ahead and staple those to make it easy to get them all out. The effective filing system reduces the amount of frustration we encounter because we are able to find what we need when we need it. You know that feeling when you're looking for a very important paper and you just can't seem to lay your hands on it. We will have all of our paperwork filed in an effective filing system so that we can find what we need when we need it. That's going to reduce our frustration and our stress. One last tip. You know, we have our cleaning products and we have our essential oil room spray. Now, this is just something I like to do because it makes filing a lot more pleasant. I like to just take my essential oil room spray and just spray my files. Makes it so much more pleasant when I go to file and I open my filing box and I have a beautiful scent that comes out. It really is uplifting and motivating. So our filing system is going to help us file all of our piles, keep the clutter to a minimum, keep our important paperwork in a place where we can find it when we need it, and it's going to reduce our stress and frustration, and that is going to make us feel so much better about all of our paperwork. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to sign off for today, and I will see you next time.